Mr Speaker, my question to the Minister responsible for Whanau Ora. What progress has been made towards the establishment of 20 Whanau Ora contracts expected to start in July 2010?
The Honourable Tariana Turia.
A governance group has been established to facilitate the implementation of Whanau Ora and provide leadership and coordination across government agencies and stakeholders.
Honourable Annette King.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker. Will any of the 20 Whanau Ora contracts be located in the 58 areas which have strengthening families, a program which the Minister of Social Development said is Whanau Ora, or in the 13 areas where early years service hubs already exist, which are coordinating services where 98% of their families are Māori, and if so, will these existing programs cease or have their funding reduced?
The Honourable Tariana Turia.
Mr Speaker,
The Honourable Tariana Turia.
strengthening families focuses on better coordination of roles between agencies when supporting families. Whanau Ora seeks to better position whānau to take more responsibility for their own futures.
The Honourable Annette King. The Honourable Annette King. Order. The Honourable Annette King.
What plans are there in place to evaluate the Whanau Ora program using such methodologies as randomised controlled trials to compare the outcome of whānau receiving Whanau Ora-based services with an equivalent group that are receiving existing services?
The Honourable Tariana Turia.
To the Speaker, there will be research running alongside of Whanau Ora, not to compare them to existing failed services.
Rahuri Katane.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister, what does she expect will be achieved through a Whanau Ora approach?
The Honourable Tariana Turia.
Essentially what we expect is that whānau will be empowered to deal with the issues that confront them rather than be trapped in an environment of crisis. A Whanau Ora approach will enable them to focus on their own potential and opportunities to improve their situation. Some whānau will continue to need the support of service providers and also agencies to make that transition.
The Honourable Annette King.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Annette King.
Does she agree with the Prime Minister that after spending over $1 billion on Whanau Ora, if it doesn't work, quote, we'll try something different? And because there's a large amount of funding at risk, when will she be in a position to present an initial statement on the success of Whanau Ora-based approach when compared to the outcomes from existing provision?
The Honourable Tariana Turia.
After 30 years of failed provision, I think that I can safely say... do you want to hear the answer? Do you want to hear the answer?
Order. The Speaker does want to hear the answer. Honourable Tariana Turia.
I feel very confident because right throughout the country, the whole NGO sector are so excited and highly motivated to make this work. And the Labour Party might laugh, but we'll soon see in the next election how excited they were.
Mr Speaker.
Order. Point of order, the Honourable Annette King.
Mr Speaker, that might have been a nice answer to clap, but it certainly wasn't an answer to a very direct question that I asked.
Order. As I recollect the member's question, it was actually a fairly direct question that involved asking the Minister about when the Minister might be in a position to report on assessment of the success of a program. I invite the member to repeat a question.
Mr Speaker, I asked first did she agree with the Prime Minister that after spending over $1 billion on Whanau Ora, that if it doesn't work, he said, we will try something different. And because there is a large amount of funding at risk, when will she be in a position to present an initial statement on the success of a Whanau Ora-based approach when compared to outcomes from existing provision?
Honourable Tariana Turia.
Mr Speaker, At present, we actually don't have an outcomes measurement in existing programs. In fact, what is measured is a lot of outputs and activity. So I think that after a year, we'll be able to give some really good outcome measurements which actually show that we are making progress with families rather than counting numbers and money.
Parliamentary question, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, to the Minister, how will providers find out what will be required with Whanau Ora?
The Honourable Tariana Turia.
Mr. Speaker, the three key agencies, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Social Development and Te Puni Kōkiri are engaging with are engaging with providers through a series of hui across the country in coming weeks, and this will ensure that providers are well informed about Whanau Ora prior to the expression of interest process.
Honourable Annette.
Mr. Speaker, in light of the TV1 poll last night, which showed that 63% of New Zealanders don't feel they have a good understanding of Whanau Ora, does she believe 10 meetings over the next month will be enough to improve that understanding? And who's been invited to these meetings?
The Honourable Tariana Turia.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think that we can look at these polls and interpret them the way we like. 57% of New Zealanders supported Whanau Ora. Sorry, I can't remember what the second part of the question was. It's a little bit more than 8%.
Order. No, I think the question. No, I'm not sure the question was quite so specific. Does the member wish to seek a further supplementary?
No, Mr. Speaker, I was specific.
Is this a point of order?
I asked about the 10 meetings. Would that be enough? And who would have been invited to them?
Is this a point of order?
Yes, point of order.
Yes,
point of order. What's the
point of order? I don't believe the Minister addressed it. I asked, in light of 63% in the poll not saying they had a good understanding, the Minister on television last night said that you intend to hold 10 meetings over the next month.
Now,
I asked whether that was enough to improve understanding and who'd been invited to them.
The member did indeed ask about, given in light of certain polls last night, and the Minister in her answer gave figures that brought into question perhaps the selected polling information the member had used, and to ask the Minister to be more precise on that kind of question is a little bit difficult. I've already asked the Minister to be more precise on one answer for the member. If she's got further supplementaries, I invite her to pursue them. We go therefore to question number 7, Nikki Kay.